Well, welcome to another episode of Extraordinary Ordinary Women. And I'm Margarita, and I'm excited to be able to share with you stories of ordinary women, women in our community who have had a dream or an idea and followed it through to fruition. Their stories will encourage you, uplift you, and hopefully inspire you to ignite the seed of greatness within your heart. For it's through sharing that we come to realize that we are not Robinson Crusoe, all alone on our own little island, but that there is, particularly now with social media, this network of truly, truly amazing women who willingly stretch out their hand with encouragement. Having found this for myself when my life was turned upside down, it is my gift to those women to be able to pay forward the gift of encouragement to others. So, without further ado, I have great pleasure in introducing you to Janna Hayes.
Hello, thank you for
Oh,
having me.
pleasure indeed. Now, Janna has worked across education, startups, and international development in communications and operation roles for creative and cultural events. She has served on the board of the New England Regional Art Museum and has led communications for international development programs focused on gender equity and leadership capacity across the Indo-Pacific. However, it is in regards to her own startup business of Sun Chai that I have asked Janna to join me today to share her journey of this particular chapter of her life. Her Sun Chai was created right here in Armidale in small premium batches using 100% organic ingredients. And don't we just love organic ingredients? So, hello and welcome, Janna.
Hello.
Now, Janna, just before we get started, I would love for you to share what is underneath your beautiful orange scarf there. Because
Um,
it's just
so
typical of us. Sorry, it's just typical of us country women.
it is, yeah. Yeah. So it's not actually that cool today, but a week ago, this little guy hatched. This is
He's
Bert.
gorgeous.
His mum had abandoned the nest, so she's got another six ducklings in with her and dad in the duck pen. But he must be he's hatched about a week later. And so because he hatched inside with me, he thinks I'm mum, and is spending a lot of time snuggled up there. So that's
Oh,
that.
how lovely. Quite quaint. So he has a journey. Your
He
journey,
does.
Janna. Every journey has a beginning, and he's got a wonderful beginning.
Yeah.
Would you share with us, please, what it was that inspired you to step into such a vastly different sphere, one of marketing organic tea? So different
Yeah.
to your other things that you were doing.
I think I did it. My first child was just turning one, and I was wanting to go back to work, but at the time I'd been working in like large music festivals, doing a lot of work with artists and sponsorship and that kind of thing. And I had fallen into that after university. It wasn't something that I particularly set out to do. And I think like a lot of women wanted to make the most of having a baby as a bit of a stopgap to do something different and go in a different direction. So when I started feeling like I really wanted to work again, the community I was living in didn't have a chai stall at the markets. And I just thought, oh, I can do that. And that'd be nice. And it wasn't high pressure. I could just kind of do it on the weekends, and which meant, my husband wouldn't be working, so he could look after the baby. And yeah, so I just I just kind of liked the idea of it in the beginning. I didn't set out for it to become a wholesale tea business, which is what it did in the end. I was just really drawn to I guess, having been a mum at home for a year, wanting to kind of be at the markets and be around people. And it gave me a creative outlet as well, which was quite important.
And so, building on that, can you now go through the development of that? Because it was quite an interesting journey that you went on with it.
Yes. So initially, I was really, truthfully, most excited about what the market stall was going to look like and feel like, which I guess is the marketer in me. Either branding and just being creative in that way, is really appealing. So I spent a lot of energy making things and sewing things so that the stall just looked gorgeous. And then the night before was like, oh, I better, try making some chai, which I did. And the first batch was absolutely awful. And I was like, ooh. Um, but luckily, the second batch turned out really well and became the recipe that it still is today. And then at that time, I was sourcing all my spices and everything just locally, because I just started out. But w once I got a little bit more professional about it, there's actually a supplier just out of Urala, that Austral Herbs, who I was getting all my herbs from because that was the only supplier in Australia that I could find that had all the ingredients certified organic. And there's a reason to use organic ingredients. Some people come at it from a health perspective, some people come at it from a flavor perspective. They think the organic ingredients have a much stronger flavor. For me, the primary reason for going into certified organics was I felt like because all the spices had to come from overseas, Australia doesn't produce a lot of the ones that I needed. And I wasn't in a position to travel to the supplying farms and check. I thought that was my best bet of making sure the labor force used to create the spices was ethical, that there wasn't any kind of slave labor involved. So that's why I went down the certified organic route. I had a bit of an edge there and I got lucky and just created a really beautiful recipe that people responded very well to. And so, yeah, it wasn't long before it was in a cafe. They were just going through tons of it. So that was great.
I love how your story it just evolved like this passion primarily to get out and interact with people because you'd been a stay-at-home mum, and then
Mm.
one thing led to another. It's really lovely.
Yeah.
So you developed this. You were actually able to supply a cafe.
Yep. Yep, I was able to supply a cafe and that was really good. I think the thing is though for me, it was always, I did end up kind of re-entering the workforce in as an employee and it was more of a side hustle and I really struggled to give it a lot of the time that it needed as a business to take it to the next level. And I didn't have any experience wholesaling. Um, and I guess I'm the kind of person who if it was my friend's tea, I could have sold it to the King of England, but because it was my own, I found it really hard to have the confidence to expand my market and go into new cafes where I didn't know the people and get it used, even though I was, supremely confident in the actual product. I thought very still to this day, best chai available. I really struggled to sell it. And I think what I was really missing was that network that you were talking about, having a network where I could find supportive women who understood the situation I was in and my time constraints and that sort of thing and could kind of point me in the right direction. And I actually, as you know, I now work for Global Sisters who offer a lot of business support to women wanting to run their own thing. And I honestly think if I had known properly about Global Sisters back then, because they have a whole wholesaling course, I would have just taken it and run with it in a way that in the end I didn't. But that's okay. It was I just love that little business so much. I have sold it now. It's not mine anymore, but it was a great experience. Yeah.
Yes, and what an amazing experience to start because of a passion, develop it, and for whatever reasons, then decide you needed to sell it. So
Mm.
in a previous discussion we had, you were talking about some things that you learned along the way. Can you share some of those with us, please?
Yes, you might have to jog my memory a little bit, Marguerite.
Well, I guess it comes under the next question of what have been the rewards of having had that experience. And to me,
Yeah.
just sorry, on reflection, you were talking about how, and I think probably it might even come under the last question, what words of wisdom would you choose to share? However, we'll pop it in here.
Mm,
um, that you realized that, sorry, let's start again, that you realized something that we are told over and over again through various avenues is that find your passion, develop
mm,
and go with that. And you shared
mm.
some amazing insight about that.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. So I think there's two things that, from where I am right now, I would say I learnt that are really important. One was that you just can't do it alone. You really do, whether it's whether it's a network that you're very close to, a network you reach out and become a part of, running your own small business, like no, you just can't be an island. You have to let go of a little bit of control and kind of rely on other people. And I think I probably didn't do that enough with it. I kept it all very close, and I would have benefited a lot from bringing in a little bit of help to get that wholesale side that I didn't really understand going. Um, and also just before I started it, even with the market side of things, it became a wholesale business, but started as a market stall. I had to rely so heavily on my husband in the morning to like help pack the car and get it there and set up my like Taj Mahal of a market stall. And that became quite taxing on him. So I didn't mind. I loved it, but it wasn't his cup of tea. So I think, yeah, learning just like how much you do really need other people. And I see other women now starting businesses and thinking they're going to be able to manage it all on their own. I'm just like, oh, dude, you're really going to need to learn to, let go and let some other people in. The other thing which I think you're getting at is for me, I really was doing it for the love. So I think I mentioned I've got it ready this time. This is the tea. It's my beautiful canister that my husband designed for me, and his mother did she's a lino print artist, so she did the design on the front there.
ah,
I loved having that kind of, I guess, control because it was my business and creative outlet. And as time went on, I had the business for 10 years, and about halfway through, I started painting, and I'm now, working hard to be an emerging artist, and I have a show in our local gallery coming up in March. Um, and I think with this, I was trying to make it do something I loved at the same time as turn a profit. And while for some people, that's a really workable thing. I don't think it is for everyone. I think it's a bit of a myth that you have to love the thing that makes you money. Because for me, it meant the bits of it that were business oriented, that were like work, they ruined it for me. I didn't want to do it, because it was my fun time. It wasn't my business time. And so that held the business back a little bit.
yeah,
Whereas with painting, I'm very clear that I'm just painting as artistic expression. It's for me. I'm not doing it to make money, dreams, but that's not why I'm doing it. And to do it for money would really ruin it for me because it would put this pressure on it that isn't there at the moment. And so that's why essentially I, in the end, decided to sell the business to the cafe that was just using tons of the stuff. And so they really happily took it on, which was wonderful for me because I would have been really sad to see it close. I don't think I could have let go of it in that way. Um, but yeah, just learning that I actually I need a creative outlet, and I need that creative outlet to not be profit driven. So for me, because creativity is what I love, doing what I love as my income source to support my family just didn't doesn't really work for me. It muddies the waters too much.
Yeah. And that's really important because you've done a couple of art shows now here in Armidale and Tamworth, and it really takes the pressure off, and you can just throw yourself into it, totally disregarding any outcome because it's just for pure pleasure. And if there's profit at the end of it, that's a bonus, which is, so important. Another thing that you mentioned earlier on was the concept of marketing. And I think we all start off. Dear idea, with this overshadowing concept of marketing and selling. But in reality, if we take it back to the bare basics, when we say to our friend, "Oh, I've just seen the best movie, you should really go and see it," that's marketing, isn't it? Or,
Yeah,
there's a new cafe
really.
opened up. That's marketing. And
Yeah.
we just have this preconceived idea where really we just need to put it out there and just let people have a choice. Isn't that correct? It's
I
not.
think so. And I think, I don't know, there is that thing of like, for me, I was just so confident in the product, very happy to let it speak for itself. Um, but I think for that to work, there is a huge element of luck. You have to get luck in the right person trying it or loving it at the right time, for it to scale. But like I said, scaling wasn't my focus. I really was doing it because I believed in it and loved it. And I genuinely, like, at the market stall, that was my favorite side of it when I was doing it at the market stall. And particularly, women from India or Bangladesh or somewhere where there is a lot of chai, um, they'd come up and you'd see them just looking so skeptical, like, there's no way this white lady's making a good chai. And when they would come back for a second cup, it was just like,
Oh,
the
yes.
best feeling in the world. I was so proud of myself. So, ooh, that's fallen down.
You've lost him.
So yeah, I really got a lot of joy from sharing it and doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. So there were, despite the journey of 10 years and then selling it, there were rewards within that framework, weren't there?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, I still honestly sometimes go like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have sold it, but I just genuinely did not have time in my life. I've even rung the cafe once before to been like, hey, how are you going with it? Are you still liking having it? Like, 'cause maybe I do want it back, but I just don't have time. I can't, I'm a mum of two. I love my job with Global Sisters where I get to support other women's business dreams. It's really wonderful. And it allows me to pursue painting. So it's the right balance for me. But I'm really glad I did it. It was just a small little business, that maybe paid for us to have a holiday every year kind of thing. It wasn't a multi-million dollar thing or anything like that. But I'm really proud of it.
And kudos to you, Janna, for stepping into your passion, for having a go, for recognizing at various points various things and the necessity to sell it, right, at that point of time in your life. And then pivoting and moving on and, finding some things that really, truly resonate with you. Kudos. That's amazing. Um,
Thank you. I've still got about, oh, I must be down to about 15 of these tubes
oh,
now, Margarita, but I will send you one.
oh, thank you. Thank you.
My
I
pleasure.
love it, Guy. I love it. So finally, Janna, what words of wisdom would you like to share with those women who are listening to this podcast, to this interview?
Hmm. I think if you're creative and you're to just think really long and hard about whether you want that creativity to be the thing that you earn your money from or not, because it sorry, bird. It can change things a lot. Um, and then the other thing is just, I mean, like I said, as much as, it was 10 years, I am really proud of it. So give it a go. It's fantastic being your own boss. I loved it.
And there are so many things to be learned. And you have actually shared so many gold nuggets throughout this interview. So thank you.
Oh,
Um,
thanks, Margaret.
Thank you, Janna, for sharing your story. And thank you for being so vulnerable about, the ups and downs of it. So honest. And the duck.
And the duck,
Duck
the star of the show. He's hungry.
I look forward, folk, to sharing another extraordinary, ordinary woman with you all. And do remember, please, to like and subscribe for more real stories of courage, resilience, and growth at Extraordinary Ordinary Women. Janna, thank you.
Bye.